All righty. There's a lot to talk about. There is a lot to talk about today. Yeah, let me share this out. Share out my live. Send DM. There's been a lot going on. Copy a link. Let me copy the link. I'm live. Whew. Ooh, 27 people in here. Let me go live on Instagram. There's a lot to get into. Where do I even want to start first? What's up, LaShawn Sparks? What's up, Alcar Bay? What's up? Who's on YouTube? Whoever's on YouTube. All right, cool. I'm gonna start out with deportations first because that's a lot in what's been going on. So, all right, cool. So we're gonna start off with this. We're gonna start off with this ICE stuff going on. Then we're gonna go more into like a positive direction. Then we're gonna talk about tribes and some history. All right, cool. So this is a 5.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
So we have the Haitian that's being deported. Apparently he was doing a bunch of crime and gang activity. That's why he's getting deported. If you couldn't hear, he said F Trump. He shouted out Biden. He thanked Obama for everything they did for him. So yeah, that's the first case.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE.
All righty. So, if I can remember, we had El Salvador. We had a not just Haitian being deported. You had a Guatemalan MS-13 gang member being deported, a Dominican being deported, someone sexual assault. I remember someone getting for sexual assault. You had a Brazilian and a Venezuelan immigrant and a standby, basically. Someone that just got deported off association. So ICE looks like ICE isn't taking any chances with this going on. So
ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go in his sanctuary jurisdiction.
Okay, so Boston is cracking down hard with the illegal immigration, the legal immigrants that are in their city. So they're cracking down pretty hard on that. All righty, so I'm going to continue with the video. Continue on.
Jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, shortly after we finished filming, ICE Boston told us they arrested 2 more targets in other parts of town away from our cameras. One of those targets is a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested for raping a woman while putting a gun in her mouth. The other target they got is a Haitian man who first flew into the United States.
Trigger warning. Golly. Trigger warning. It's just, sheesh. That, damn. This is the second instance. This is the second person being deported for something like that. And had a gun to her. Jeez.
United States in 2023 as part of President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program. Well, they just picked him up yesterday because he's been arrested locally for sexual assault. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Mallusion, it was fascinating to watch all of that. I think I was just saying to Bill, this is terrible for Joe Biden and the legacy that he tried to leave behind. A question from me, how soon will they actually be leaving the country? Does that take a long time?
It depends what country they're from. If they're from cooperable countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, countries like that, it can be quick. It can be within days or weeks. If it's countries that are harder to deport, countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much, it can go into a process of months. But the Trump administration is changing policies with something called expedited removal. The bottom line is people at home don't need to understand all the policies. The Trump administration is just going to work as fast as they can to get all the people you just saw on camera there out of the country as fast as possible. They're also going to use their State Department, now led by Marco Rubio, to put pressure on countries that don't cooperate with the U.S.
I don't know about the Congress. I think the people at home should know about these policies. just get a heads up. So apparently they're cracking down, and then we just discovered how long it would take for someone to actually be sent back home. It could take months in case, or it could take days. So people will be sitting for a while if they're not if they're from a country that doesn't really like the United States or doesn't want to cooperate or do business with the United States. So, but yeah, what's up? Who's on Instagram? We got Standard, we got Nonchalant, Lee Rock, and we got Princess. What's up? I gotta pay attention to what's going on Instagram as well. What's up, Wangapo Chame?
U.S. as much when it comes to those deportations.
Bill, just two points of clarification here. It seems a lot of these crimes are associated with sex crimes. I'm just looking at the list a bit earlier today. I don't know if that generally is the case or not. And second, if Boston's a sanctuary city, how are they allowed to do this? Because we told there would be resistance.
Boston doesn't have to cooperate with ICE, but there's nothing they can do to stop ICE from coming into their city and enforcing the law. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And that's the point ICE makes to us is, look, they don't have to cooperate with our detainer requests. They don't have to tell our officers when they're releasing somebody from jail, but we're going to do our job. We have our intel guys out in the field. We have people with eyes all over the place, and we're going to snatch those guys. So they can make ICE's job more difficult, longer, and more dangerous, but it's not going to stop ICE from doing the job, guys. The bottom line is ICE says it's safer for everybody involved if locals would just hand these guys over in jail once they're arrested, but they don't. They let them out onto the streets. They don't tell ICE about it. So ICE has to spend a lot of resources gathering intel, finding these guys, and then going out into the community to do arrests, which could be dangerous. You saw that combative Haitian man. And then you saw in the case of that one MS-13 member, his friend got snagged. They weren't even looking for him. They were looking for the MS-13 guy. They picked him up because a sanctuary jurisdiction released the MS-13 guy. ICE found him and then found the guy he was in the apartment with. They found out he was an illegal alien as well. So now he's going to be deported too.
Wow.
Amazing. Bill Mallusion, thank you so much. More to come on that.
Thank you, Bill.
All righty. So that's the end of that. Yeah. ICE is cracking down hard. With Boston being a sanctuary city, they don't really, they're the ones that are letting out immigrants all the time. So that being said, but ICE isn't cooperating with anybody, really. Can't send us nowhere. All right, they can't send us nowhere. But yeah, ICE is cracking out hard, and wonder how this will happen. What's going to happen? What do you guys think? They're gonna be all right. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about that? How ICE is doing? Do you think this is gonna be a nationwide thing? ICE cracking down on illegals nationwide? Do you think police in these sanctuary cities are gonna cooperate and things like that? A lot of sex crimes involved with these people that are getting deported. A lot of sex crimes, which is ridiculous. So you have that. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's on YouTube. On to some crazier news. Navajo. We got the Navajo. I'm sure we can find something about the Navajo. Black Navajo. All right. Appalling. All right, we got some news about the Navajo Nation. We're going to check this video out.
Immigrant defenders say no confirmed ICE raids here yet. Right now, there's insanity continues. Navajo Nation leaders address reports of ICE detaining tribal citizens. So this is happening in New Mexico, and New Mexico immigrant defenders say no confirmed ICE raids here yet. Right now, there's rumors out there that ICE is going to be in New Mexico arresting undocumented immigrants. Advocacy groups say no such raids have been confirmed here. However, Mescalero Apache President Thor Walsh published a statement Thursday saying that an ICE member approached a tribal member in public and spoke Spanish. The tribal member responded in English, produced a New Mexico driver's license, and the agent left. And then Navajo Nation council members met Thursday night after getting numerous reports of Navajo citizens being harassed or held by ICE. One person was held for 9 hours. And we're now at the point. If you're not white in America, you had better have something on you that identifies you as a citizen, because they are going everywhere. Just a report today, they tried to enter a school where children are. So that's where we're at. So non-white people, they are coming for you. I mean, they're going after Navajo indigenous people, which does beg the question. Donald Trump wants to revoke their citizenship. Where would they go? I mean, he is aware of the history of America. Probably not, that they were here first. This is just a frightening story. It's going to be happening more in the upcoming weeks. Have papers with you. Be careful. Know your rights. This is going to get very bad.
Right. I actually agree with that last sentiment. Just keep some type of ID on you, honestly. Who, no matter what they try to pull. I'm not the one to try to fearmonger. What's up, Ishmael? They would go to Asian. They would go back to Asia to fuck. I'm not the type of fearmonger. And things like that. I was always taught to keep an ID on you at all times anyway. So, interesting. Where do you guys think the Navajo would go if they were to get deported? Where do you guys think the Navajo would go? Like, where would you send them? Mexico? Yeah, they know who they're going after. Yeah, they know who they're going after. That's for sure. For those that missed last stream, I just got rid of a troll. I blocked the troll last stream. Yeah, Chuck will no longer be with us. So yeah, you're gonna have more calm lives. Hopefully, we'll have more calm lives. Shout out to the 6 people that are on YouTube. Alaska, Jules said Alaska. There's that, but yeah, the Navajo are getting detained. A Navajo member was detained for 9 hours by ICE. So, reports of Navajo being detained in immigration sweep sparks concern from trial. All right, we already saw that. Trump administration is arguing in court that Native Americans are not citizens because they are beholden to their tribes before the U.S. If they are citizens and children, undocumented parents are definitely not. Hey, dumb fucks. Navajo code talkers would like a word. Adios, amigos. What's up, KJ? Prayers up for the Navajo. That's crazy. Excluding Indians. Cut. Huh? Hold on. That excluding Indians. What does Trump? Hold on. All illegals that crossed the border in the past 4 years will be deported. Yeah, I got Chuck out of here. I'm not about to. I'm on a new wavelength. I'm vibrating higher. I've talked to folks. I've not talked to folks. I've said I'm not about to lower my vibrations with these trolls. So if you gotta go, you gotta go. That's all I'm gonna say. Excluding Indians, pre-14th Amendment is in fight to refine birthright citizenship. That's an interesting title or headline. Excluding Indians, Trump admins question Native Americans' birthrights in court. The Navajo probably letting Mexicans in their tribe. ICE know what's going on, what it do. Probably because California, New Mexico, they're just Mexicans can just come across, and be they probably are. Who knows? It's a lot going on these reservations. Justice Department goes on to cite the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which predates its 14th Amendment by 2 years. The Justice Department attorney specifically cite a section of the act that notes all persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power, excluding Indians not taxed, are hereby declared citizens of the United States. Navajo doesn't let Mexicans in their tribe. All right. I mean, hey, these are just speculations. We don't know for sure. I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know for sure. I don't know too many Navajo. So the troubling thing goes on to argue that the 14th Amendment language is the phrase subject of jurisdiction, therefore is best to exclude the same individuals who are excluded by the act, i.e. those who are subject to any foreign power and Indians not taxed. The Justice Department says attorneys return to the topic of whether Native or not should be entitled to birthright citizenship later in their arguments, citing a Supreme Court case, Elk versus Wilkins, in which the court decided that because members of Indian tribes owe immediate allegiance to their tribes, they are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are not constitutionally entitled to citizenship. They all look related to me. I said probably. All right. But I was about to say, we're just going. Okay, so seems like Trump is giving more. I need to work that before work. Seems like okay. So this is a debate. If people in tribes are entitled to birthright citizenship, if you're American Indian, so where would you get deported to? If they're getting deported or getting detained, seems like they would get deported. According to what this is saying, seems like they would get deported back to the reservations, I guess, if they have reservations, or back to the area that the tribe headquarters is, right? So, the United States connection with these citizens, children of illegal aliens and temporary visitors is weaker than its connection with its members of Indian tribes. If the latter link is insufficient for birthright citizenship, the former certainly is, the Trump administration argued. The argument marks a sharp departure from the government's opinion, which has held Native Americans who are citizens of their respective tribes are also citizens of the United States. Interesting. What's up, Corey? What's up, Mira? What's up, Ariel? What's going on? We got 9 people on YouTube right now watching the stream. We got over 170 people in here, 173. So, on to some lighter news. I went to the White House website and read the executive order myself. It doesn't say anything about Native Americans at all. Okay. On to some lighter news. The Lumbee. Because all right, I'm just go to my profile. The Lumbee are now federally recognized. And I talked to the Lumbee. People can feel how they want to feel about being enrolled in the tribe or being that tribe being recognized, whatever, right? People can feel however they want to feel about that. This is something the Lumbee wanted. They wanted to be, because they were federally recognized before. Because I talked to some of the Lumbee at the powwow I was at, and he was saying like, "Hey, you know, the Lumbee were recognized in like the 1900s. What's up, Devo? The Lumbee were recognized in like the 1900s. They got de-recognized because it's all about money. Because they didn't have enough money or funding, so they got de-federally recognized, right? And then they were still state recognized just by North Carolina only, and they had to go through a lot of battles, having issue with the Cherokee that are in North Carolina, being called pretendians that they're not real Indians, right? And then finally, after a long time, federally recognized again. So Trump held his promise, and he recognized the Lumbee. You're related. What's up, Chief Head Splitter? He recognized the Lumbee. I've heard things about the Lumbee. Only gonna talk when my interactions with the Lumbee. They're cool. They were solid. They talked to us. And one of the Lumbee women, like my friend that I was with. So but no, it was cool. It was cool talking to the Lumbee. When I know that I've heard in North Carolina like racism and stuff like that. So I'm not going to negate those people's experiences. I will talk about my experience only with the Lumbee because they were in my home. So yeah, and it was at a powwow, so they weren't going to be disrespectful, even if they are prejudiced or colorist, racist, whatever, But yeah, federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Over 200 people in here. Section 1, the purpose, policy of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina, known as the people of the Dark Water, have a long storied history. The tribe's members were descendants of several tribal nations from the Algonquin, Iroquois, and Siouan families, including the Hatteras, the Tuscarora, and the Shura. The waters of the Lumbee River and land surrounding have protected and provided for the Lumbee people for centuries, despite war, disease, and many other perils. In 1885, the state of North Carolina recognized the Lumbee people as an Indian tribe. 1885, North Carolina such law is 92. In 1956, Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the Lumbee Act, Public Law 8457, 50 to 8057, 7 Stat 254, recognized the Lumbee as the Lumbee Indians of North Carolina, but denied Lumbee's federal benefits associated with such recognition. Today, according to the state of North Carolina, the Lumbee consists of more than 55,000 members, making it the largest tribe east of the Mississippi River and 9th largest tribe in the nation. In 2024, the United States House of Representatives passed by a vote of 311 to 96 the Lumbee Fairness Act, which granted the Lumbee tribe full federal recognition, but this legislation was not considered by the United States Senate before the end of the 118th Congress. Similar legislation has passed the House of Representatives several times. Considering the Lumbee's historical modern significance, it is the policy of the United States to support the full recognition, including the authority to receive full federal benefits of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Section 2, Directive Recognition Plan. Within 90 days of the date of the referendum, the Secretary of the Interior shall review all applicable authorities regarding the recognition of acknowledging Indian tribes in the consultation with the leadership of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina, shall submit to the President a plan to assist the Lumbee tribe in obtaining full federal recognition through legislation or other available mechanisms, including the right to receive full federal benefits. Be a plan that shall include consideration an analysis of each potential legal pathway to effectuate full federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe, including through an act of Congress, judicial action, or the procedures for federal acknowledgement of Indian tribes set forth in the 2025 CFR Part 83. Okay, and to C, the Secretary of Interior is authorized, directed to publish memorandum in Federal Register. All right. I can say that I did date one back in college, and she was darker, copper skin, and she told me they didn't really accept her. That's why she left the area. So yeah, I bet. Yeah. Hey, she was a dark. Okay, that can make sense. That can make sense. What's up, Nettie baby? And like I said before, they were respectful when I was talking to them. I ain't gonna, yeah. Okay, cool. So there's that. That's how the Lumbee are federally recognized now. I'm gonna switch over to my Discord because I have a whole thread. If you're not in the Discord, not tooting my own horn here, but we got a lot of things in the Discord. You got a lot of things I gotta add to it. The good thing about Discord is you have threads. You have threads in Discord. Where am I at? All right, we got threads. I got threads of all these goddamn tribes in Discord. It's probably over 100. We're gonna read some of them. I might not get through all of them, but since we are on the Lumbee, let me search Lumbee. Since we are on the Lumbee, boom. We just look at some sources and some research I have of the Lumbee tribe. Lumbee tribe. Just gives people a heads up, some research. We're gonna share this tribe. We're gonna share this tab. We got the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Welcome to the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina, culture, tradition, history. Welcome to the Lumbee people of the Dark Order. Our Lumbee tribal territory is located in southeastern North Carolina, in Robeson, Hope, Cumberland, and Scotland counties. The Lumbee people are known for their entrepreneurial spirit and their focus on education. We welcome you to visit our homeland. Lumbee tribal citizens, our tribal website lists information and staff details for available services for your families, which include but are not limited to tribal support services, emergency rental assistance, housing services for families and college students, enrollment assistance, energy assistance, transitional housing services, voice youth services, vocational rehab services, rehabilitation services, veteran services, youth services, through Project, Indie Choice, and much more. If you have questions, please reach out to our staff. We are here to help. Also, our Lumbee Tribal Enrollment Office is now open late Monday afternoons to better assist you. The main number for Lumbee Housing Complex is that number right there. I'm not about to repeat that, but there you go. Always thankful for this opportunity to serve as your chairman. So this is the chairman of the Lumbee. You got cultural highlights. You got the chairly, the monthly chairman updates. You got the newsletter, like the member portal accomplishment review. Let's see what the cultural video of the cultural highlights of the Lumbee. Did somebody just join the Discord? Yeah, Black Snoopy. Okay, someone new just joined the Discord. Hold on, I just got quite distracted a bit. All right, 250 people in here. Yeah, excuse me. You got the cultural highlights. That's the cultural highlights leads you to a YouTube video. Oh, we gonna watch that for a bit.
This is a historic event for the Lumbee tribe, and we are so grateful and thankful to be able to be here at the Smithsonian Museum of American.
Oh yeah, this right here, this person right here. I talked to this person standing here. I talked to him. I was able to talk to him at the powwow. That's who I was discussing with. So he was at the powwow here in Baltimore. Had a good time talking to him. He was telling me a lot about the lumpy history and things like that. So yeah, I know somebody.
An Indian. I tell you what, this is a wonderful privilege. Lumbee encompass.
Okay, but yeah, you guys can check out the rest of the video. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but you can check that out. Now going back, you got the official merchandise store. You got Lumbee merchandise store. You got the powwow shirt, tribal hats, Lumbee shirts, powwow. Yeah, just shirts. They got croc charms. Okay, they got croc charms. Hoodies. You got a straw hat. Okay, you got a polo. Out of stock. Okay, they selling up. All right, Lumbee. You got the Lumbee calendar. Okay, so that's tribal stuff. I ain't gonna share too much of that. You got tribal stuff. You got the month. This is where you can You got the monthly updates. Chairman Lowry from Charlie and Chairman Lowry. You can check that out on your own. You got the newsletter of the Lumbee. You got the Lumbee newsletter going on. Okay, this hasn't been updated. You got the member portal. This is where you log in. This is how you stay connected as a member of the Lumbee. This is where you can donate. You can send donations to the Lumbee one time, monthly, yearly for federal recognition. You got the Boys and Girls Club. You got the powwow, elder services, veteran services, annual fish fry, missing, murdered, and dead. You know what? Yeah, I'm about to donate to that cause. I'm not gonna lie. To the missing, murdered indigenous. I'm gonna have to send a donation for that. Gathering the Native Americans. Okay, so they have a conference, Native American conference. Okay, that's coming up. That's actually coming up. That's coming up pretty soon. All right. Oh, snap. All right. Registration. Yeah, you got registration for that. You got registration for the Native American Gathering the Native Americans Conference, January 30th and Friday, January 31st, and February 1st, Saturday. So it's like a weekend long event. There's the times and dates. So yeah, okay. And then a press release from Chief Lowry. Okay, acknowledging it has been updated. Okay, it has been updated. All right. Trump they're acknowledging their recognition and then bringing justice to missing and murdered indigenous women. You can donate and help that cause if you want to. What's up, Essence? You can help you can help that cause if you want to. All right, that's that for that. Oh, snap. I have to general. There we go. That's that. I got to go back to the thread because what am I doing? I got to go back to the thread. All right, let's go back to the Lumbee. Boom. Lumbee. There's so many tribes in here. All right, you got the Lumbee Facebook. You got the Lumbee Facebook. This is their Facebook account. You got the Lumbee YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe to the Lumbee YouTube channel, they have almost 4,000 subscribers. Lumbee have almost 4,000 subscribers. History of the Lumbee Tribe.com, history and culture. All right, this is the history and culture of the Lumbee tribe in the southeastern North Carolina among the pines, swamps, and dark waters of the Lumbee River. You'll find the heart and homeland of the Lumbee people. The ancestors of the Lumbee came together in the shelter of the 100 years ago to survive as tribal nations from the Algonquin, Iroquois. Okay, so that's basically what the thing was saying. You got the origins and the migration of the Lumbee. They go back 12,000 BC. Okay. They're in the Tuscarora War, the Yamasee War, Indian slavery, and loss of tribal traditional lands. They went through disease, epidemics, war, and oppression. So that's some more history for you about the Lumbee. The Lowry War. They're in the Lowry War. What else? Naming the people. The Lowry War was turning point for the Indian people and solidified the bonds that connected Lumbee ancestors. Okay, so the Lowrys brought together the people. Education. The Lumbee are big on education, their federal recognition. They just won that fight, that battle. Self-determination and government. Okay. Routing the KKK. So the Lumbee went to war with the KKK. They faced the KKK head on. That's interesting. That's interesting. You know, that's pretty interesting. The way they feel about, they have a harder time accepting darker people, but they had their issues with the KKK. They had their issues, harder time accepting dark-skinned people. But these are the same people that went to war with the KKK? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's confusing. That is confusing. Their cultural center. Okay. That is interesting. The tribal seal. Boom. What else? Handbook of the Southeast, which talks the Smithsonian book, which talks about the Lumbee. You got a Smithsonian book that talks about the Lumbee. Modern tribe. Okay. You got the Lumbee, you got the North Carolina tribes. It talks about that. It also talks about the Coharie, the Eastern Band of Cherokee, Haliwa-Saponi, the Meharin, the Okanichi, and the Saponi, and the Wakama, or the Wokon. Talks about that. You got a WordPress, escape. The origins of the Lumbee tribe. A WordPress of the origins of the Lumbee tribe. If you have ancestors in South Carolina or ancestors that passed through South Carolina. What's up, Jackson? If you have ancestors or ancestors that passed through South Carolina, you may find these books valuable, resourceful. Strangers in their own land, South Carolina State's Indian tribe. Okay. Origins of the Lumbee, no mystery. Since the early 19th, ethnologists, anthropologists, and historians have been partnering on the origins of the population of mixed bloods resided in Robeson County, North Carolina. The self-labeled Lumbee Indians now comprise the largest single Indian group east of the Mississippi. The theories of their origins are as many and varied as the academics who have studied them, though obviously of mixed ancestry. The Lumbee themselves consider themselves identify as Indian since the earliest contact, as they still do today. Halito. Instagram is just so dead. I wish I could just stream to TikTok, dude, through StreamYard. But I need to be on, like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Instagram is just so dead. One of the earliest long-standing theories in Lumbee is the descendancy of the lost colony. Therefore, the purposes that the Robeson mixed bloods descend from the stranded colony of Roanoke. So they'll have Machipunga. They'll have Machipunga in them too. Mixed blood descents. Okay. Though based on no solid evidence, it remains the most widespread theory of even today. Most Genealogical research has suspiciously proved that the theory of wild flight of fancy and the origins of the Lumbee seem to be a far cry less romantic, and the preponderance of evidence that shows that the Lumbee's mixed bloodlines are comprised of primarily two types: those of Indian white mixture, primarily mixed tribes who resided in Bertie County, Tuscarora Reservation, and the white Indian and dubious third stock, and many describe records as Portuguese. So the Portuguese aren't considered white? Sounds like something. Sounds like something interesting. What's up, American Maroon? That sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. Going. What do I want to say? During the Tuscarora War, 1711-1713, North Carolina, a division of Tuscarora called the Northern Tuscarora at the time, under the chief Tom Blunt, remained friendly to the whites and were settled at Fort Christiana, Virginia, along with several remnant Siouan tribes, at least one small band of Chowan Nadsmen at the close of the war, and the Tuscarora under Blount, in addition to remnants of allied tribes still remaining in the country, were moved to a reservation in present-day Bertie, North Carolina, along the riverbanks of the Roanoke River. The Blount, Tuscarora, and other Fort Christiana Indians were heavily acculturated, predominantly Christian and vast majority English-speaking, lumped together under the title Tuscarora were many varied bands of Algonquin, Siouan, and Iroquois descent mixed bloods on the reservation is where the discovery of the majority of the Robeson people. Okay, this is pretty long. I'm not going to read all that. It's just going on. The Sweat Gibson Bass family bore Indian blood prior to residing in Bertie County, of Pamunkey Indian origin. The Sweats were prominent in that tribe's affair as the Bass family among the Nadsmen, and the Basses apparently picked up Siouan blood after marriage into the Harris family in Bertie. The Gibsons were Siouan Indian inhabitants of the Tuscarora Reservation, also shared a common ancestry with the Chavis family. Later migrations of Indian white mixed families, such as the Jacobs, also served to bolster. So they were the outcast. Yeah, basically. The final Lumbee puzzle is the so-called Portuguese origins. So why are the Portuguese? The Portuguese aren't, so they have to be triracial identity. So the Portuguese must be Negro. The Portuguese must be the Negro in this instance, right? Or as the Indian, or has been mixed blood to explain the physical features of the white natives exempted to classify as resulting from Negro ancestry. For most part, Lumbee are related families claiming solely to be Indian white mixture, but occasionally claim Portuguese ancestry to justify the non-white characteristics such as bushy hair, thick lips, etc. Jacob Perkins of Tennessee made this claim of Indian white Portuguese ancestry. In 1858, his grandfather, Joshua Perkins, who had resided in Robeson, married a poly-black, a fair-skinned Scotch woman, Polly Cumba, who was described as a Portuguese woman, while married to Allen Lowry in Robeson. And finally, Thomas Higgins claimed to have had the same Indian white Portuguese mixture in 1809, South Carolina, through his grandfather. Though Ivy of Drowning Creek, who was described as the Portuguese descent, that his complexion was swarthy, his hair black and straight, and that his wife was a free white woman, very clear complexion. Early accounts of the Lumbee in Robeson seem to agree with this Indian white Portuguese identity. Two surnames common along the Lumbee and their cousins in South Carolina appear to have the roots in Spanish Portuguese, Chavis, and Driggers from Rodriguez, originally in Hampton, North. Pete, what's up? These the same people that came on the White Lion in 1619. Yo, the Rodriguez Driggers, right? And the Chavis, I don't know about the Chavis, but the Driggers, right? Rodriguez came in 1619 with the Portuguese. So the Lumbee, they aren't saying, oh, we got our bushy hair from our African admixture. No. They saying these people are Portuguese. Is Portuguese code for African or something? Is Portuguese? Let me look up the etymology of Portuguese. Country West Portugal, country west side of the Iberian Peninsula. From me to Portus, Cal, the Port of Gaia, or harbor port, excuse me, means port. So they got their swarthy, tawny complexion, not from an African, but from a Portuguese European. Cape Verde off the coast of Africa are Portuguese. Yeah, right. Huh. Some food for thought. Right. Wow, dude. That is crazy. So, wow. Now we're going to go. The shoreline, Chesapeake area, Bay Area in Virginia appears to be an area in which the Portuguese bloodline sprung, including Northampton, York, Surrey counties. Portuguese slaves such as Francisco Payne, Philip Mongan, King Tony, Peter George, Emmanuel Rodriguez, and Bashar Fernando were imported here in the 1640s by landowner gentlemen Nathaniel Littleton, Francis Pott, Captain William Hawley, John Custis, John Eries, and William Taylor. Being identified as Portuguese during this area most assuredly implies that these individuals were already mixed-blooded before setting foot on American soil. Portuguese slaves in the early 1600s were most often a myriad of racial backgrounds, including Brazilian natives, Canary Islanders, Mediterranean Arabs, East Indians, and, of course, West Coast Africans. Regardless of their actual racial makeup, Portuguese slaves enjoyed a social and legal assistance much more like sharecroppers, as they maintained their own property and enjoyed legal protections equal to whites. A description of their life is reflected by one slave. Ajax in Harlem, Teach Dart. Yo. What's up, I am Joshua. Yo. So they're saying the Portuguese slaves are mixed. So Portuguese in the South during this time meant to be mixed. Brazilian natives, Canary Islanders, Mediterranean Arabs, East Indians, and West Africans. Interesting. Now, Mr. Taylor and I divided our corn, and I am very glad of it now. I know mine, own ground. I will work when I please and play when I please. By the 1600s, most Portuguese slaves and their children were living on the lands of the Genghis-Khan Indian tribe in Northampton. So, Accomac. So there you have Portuguese mixing with the Accomac. That's basically what they're saying, because the Genghis-Khan, which basically means nigger skin or hard R skin, dark skin people. So yeah, so the Portuguese were mixing in, according to this, with the Accomac in Northampton. Court records reveal the Portuguese Payne, George Driggers, shortened for Rodriguez, and Francisco Cisco, shortened from Francis Cisco, had married into the Cross, Bingham Jacobs, and Jeffrey Indian families of Genghis-Khan, and also that the white servants' families of the Harmon, Webb, Brooks, Beckett, and Carter had intermarried heavily with both Portuguese and Indian. Out-migration, some of these individuals to such areas as Surrey and Louisa counties in the mid-1700s, resulting in intermarriage with the Bunch and the Goins families, who later also resided in Robeson and surrounding areas. The Francis family intermarried with the Chavis family in North Carolina in the early 1740s, just as the Jacobs, Jeffreys, George, Harmon, Carter, and Driggers did with the Bass, Perkins, Gibson, and Sweat families. It is quite obvious that the Indian white Portuguese mixture was pronounced even before the exposure to their reservation Indians in Bertie County. Wow. As we discovered, the origins of the mixed blood population of Robeson County and its offshoot is no mystery, and adequate historical documentation exists to identity of the roots of the Indian white Portuguese ancestors. The record is clear that the ancestors were early Virginia and North Carolina white settlers, Indians residing in the Genghis-Khan Reservation in Northampton counties of various tribes residing on the Tuscarora Reservation in Bertie County. Also, dark-skinned Portuguese servants of the Chesapeake Bay area. Okay, so we got some sources here. You got some sources. You got the Hodge Frederick Handbook of American Indians, 1906. 1875, John Garman Memoirs. A century ago, a few members of the Tuscarora tribe of Indians lived upon the banks of the Roanoke River in Halifax County, North Carolina. They removed to Robeson. In February 12, 1885, Fayetteville Observer, the Croatan Indians, though they do not recognize that the names of the tribe, but only a village that they were Tuscarora, were friendly to the whites. What we got going on? All right. Friendly to the whites. Okay, so the Croatans who were Tuscarora were friendly to the whites. George Lowry, as quoted in Sir Raleigh's Lost Colony by Hamilton Macmillan, the Act of General Assembly of North Carolina, February 10th, 1885. Murray C. Norman's The Lowry History, 1895. Based on the fact that John Oxendine was excused from paying the free Negro tax, his wife was taxed as a white woman. John's grandson, Charles Oxendine, convinced the Supreme Court of North Carolina that he was not a free Negro, and Nancy Oxendine was described as a musty servant woman in 1795 of North Carolina Central and Fayetteville Gazette. Musty. Okay, so she was a musty, so she had some Negro blood in her. Sherrod, tribal origin of Harris family, confirmed through Catawba tribal records. So the Harrises in North Carolina have Sherrod, and there's Sherrod Catawba. That's interesting. That's interesting. Gibson's surname appears among the Tuscarora lease records. Chavis Gibson connecting via Paul Henning Free African Americans. Shout out to Paul Henning. Jacobs family descends from Tabitha Jacobs, an Indian of Northampton, Virginia. The Jacobs family were Indian servants living on and around the Genghis-Khan Reservation to gain their freedom and migrated to Robeson via Bertie and Sampson counties. So the Jacobs family is their Accomack. The Jacobs family is Accomack. 10, July 17, 1858, Johnson County, Tennessee court. Jacob F. Perkins sued John R. White for slander because he called him a free Negro, and he sued him for slander. Wow. Don't give me no ideas, right? They keep calling us pretendians, right? We gonna sue their asses for slander. I'm gonna put that in people's ears. Anybody call you pretending on this internet or in person, and you're not, sue their ass for slander. Because shit, he did it. Mr. Jacobs did it. All right. Mary C. Norman, Lowry History, 1895. 12. August 14th, 1809, Marion District, South Carolina. Thomas Higgins refused to pay tax on all free Negroes, mulattoes, and mestizos. So they had mestizo taxes too here. That's interesting. He said, we suing for real. What's up, Carmen Cakes? What's up? So, what's up, Trigger? What's up, Yank? 13. Saturday, March 30th, 1872, editions of Harper Weekly's The North Carolina Bandits said to be intermixed with Tuscarora Indian blood were almost uniformly of light skins with the trace of some novel intermixture, which gave them the looks of gypsies. It has been suggested that the Spanish, Portuguese, Romani blood flows in veins of mulattoes of Scaffeltown. Also in 1871, Joint Senate and House Committee interviewed Robeson County Judge Giles Lech. I think they are a mixture of Spanish, Portuguese, and Indian. They are also called mulattoes. That's the name they are known of by distinguished from Negroes. I think they are of Indian origin. 14 Northampton Orders, 1645. 15 Northampton County, Virginia Orders in court minutes 1690 to 1774. Records consistently identify the Payne, Francis, Cisco, Harmon, Mongan, Beckett, George Driggers, Webb's families as mulatto, while Bingham Cross, Sunkett, West, Daniel Fisherman, Jacobs, and Jeffrey families are identified as Indian. Records show that they all are families intermarried heavily, had extensive social interaction, all resided on the Gigaskin reservation land. Hey, what's up, Kelly? That's something for you, all right? Do you have anything? Do you have anything else for the Lumbee? That was a lot to unpack. Nope. All right, we're going to read up on some more tribes. See what we find. Discord. What's the last tribe? I'm about to go to the beginning. The tribes that I have. All right, let's look at the Crow tribe. Look at the tribe. I'm just going order the way I did it. Let's look at the Crow tribe. Absolute. I don't know. I'm not about to butcher it. Nation. The official site for the Crow tribe. Got the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Okay. The Crow tribe constitution bylaws of 2001 established 3 branches of government: the executive, legislative, and judicial branch. The government body of the Crow tribes exercises separation and balance of power through these 3 branches as stated in Article 1 of the Constitution and bylaws. Okay. You got the Crow tribal government. This consists of, This consists of this: Healing, CEO, contract grants, Crow Tribal Historic Preservation Office, Education Department, Enrollment Department, Human Resources, Media, Natural Resources, Social Services, SORNA, Tarot, Tourism, Transit, Transportation, Tribal Health Programs, Veteran Affairs, and Water Resources. You got the chairman, you got the executive chairman, vice chairman, secretary, and vice secretary. You got the phone. These are the numbers there in Montana. Why did I start off with the Crow tribe? I have no idea. You got the legislation branch. You got the Crow laws and policies. Not about to go in that. Really. You guys, if y'all want to. You got the legislative branch. Jeez. Okay, so this is the legislative branch of the Crow. They have a mission to remain an autonomous entity of the tribal government of the Crow people. All right. You got their judicial branch. It's the judicial branch of the Crow Nation. All right. Now back to this. You got the tribal businesses. You got the Crow Fair, which is in August. So their powwows are in August. The Crow Tribe has powwows in August. What's up, the good girl? Crow Tribe has powwows in August. I'm assuming they're in Montana. So if you're ever in Montana, for whatever reason, you got the Crow Native Days. Their Native Days are in June. Okay. And you got more. Their news, COVID-19 contact. Okay. That's it for this source. You have the Crow language. The Crow language is endangered. Okay. The Crow language is endangered. Preserving Crow for the future generation. Okay. The Crow language contains a wealth of knowledge about Crow tradition and culture. Let's keep this alive. Preserving Crow for the future generations. We support Crow language by developing language resources, organizing, training. Oh, wow. So the Crow tribe is one of those tribes, right? And I'm not making fun or light of anything, right? Or one of those, because we get harassed, right? People that look like you and I get harassed all the time that we don't know our languages. And there's still tribes that are trying to put their languages together. That's an insult. You're not just insulting us, right? You're insulting the tribes that have to actually put an effort to restore their tribal languages. So, hope people that need to see this, or need to hear this, You're going to go around making fun of us about not knowing languages of our people, then, yeah. Get involved. The survival of the Crow language depends on your support. Together, we can create a community of young Crow speakers. The Crow language is a collect. Okay, we are working to. Okay, that's something there. Language. I'm not about to butcher that. But that's a word. It means it's good. It's good you've come. We are working together to build a strong Crow language. The Crow Language Consortium is a collective of Crow school, colleges, and educators that are working to preserve the Crow language to ensure you can pass it on to future generations. We support the Crow learners and teachers by developing language materials such as textbooks, dictionaries, flashcards, posters, and more by providing access to apps and multimedia. By organizing extension teacher training and workshops. Today, we are working on many Crow speakers to certify them as teachers in the best practice teaching methodologies. Okay, vitalizing that. We got the about section. We got the board. Okay. Learn Crow. They got a Crow dictionary. I'm not interested in learning Crow because I'm not Crow. We got news. You got a bookstore. Got a bookstore where they sell textbooks, dictionaries, audio CDs, flashcards, poster story. You can contact them. Their contact information. Donate. You can also donate if you want to donate. So yeah, is that it for the Crow Tribe? Greetings. All right. So yeah, the Crow Tribe are working to resurrect their language. And if you want to support, then support them. Here you go. Stop making fun of people saying that they don't know any of their languages. We have tribes that are still trying to put it together. You're being disrespectful. It's not only us, but you're being respectful to the quote unquote, to the people that you guys deem as real natives and that we're erasing. So be mindful of what you say. All right, going on. What's the first tribe? So Crow Tribe, Navajo. We were just talking about the Navajo earlier. WikiTree, Navajo Code Talkers. History, you got Navajo Code Talkers. Navajo Code Talkers took part in every assault in the U.S. Marines conducted in World War II in the Pacific from 1942 to 1945. They served in all 6 Marine divisions, Marine Raider battalions, and Marine parachute units, transmitting messages by telephone and radio in their native language and code data that the Japanese never broke. The idea for the Navajo to use secure communications from Philip Johnston a son of a missionary to the Navajo. And one of them non-Navajos who spoke their language fluently, Mr. Johnson, reared on the Navajo reservation, was a World War I veteran who knew the military search for code. Okay. 540 Navajos served in the Marines in World War II, and with 400 trained as code talkers. They have their own dictionary. They got sources for that. They have interviews for Navajo code talkers. All righty. Now on to the next. You got Navajo projects, unreliable source. Okay, so if you're doing Navajo genealogy. Fraud. And agrees. All right. Oh, we already seen it. Home, you got the Navajo government. You got the Navajo government page, the official site for Navajo Nation. You got the vice president, the executive, legislative, and judicial branch. Basically, it's basically the homepage if you want to learn more about them. You can email applications, the help desk, jobs. They're offering jobs, their history. Let's look at the history of the Navajo. The Navajo Nation extends into states such as Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico, covering 27,000 square miles of unparalleled beauty. Dene, or Navajo land. Dene Makea, or Navajo land, is larger than 10 of the 50 states in the Americas. Visitors from around the world are intrigued and mystified when they hear the Navajo language. So, too, they were an enemy during World War II. Unknown to many, Navajo language was used to create a secret code to battle the Japanese. Navajo men were selected to create codes and serve in the front lines to overcome and deceive those on the other side of the battlefield. Today, though, these men are recognized as the famous Navajo code talkers who exemplify the unequaled bravery and patriotism of the Navajo people. Navajo Nation government. Today, the Navajo Nation is striving to sustain a viable economy for an ever-increasing population that now surpasses 250,000 years. In years past, Navajo land appears to be little more than a desolate section of the Southwest, but it was only a matter of time before the Navajo Nation became a known wealthy nation in its world of its own. The discovery of oil in Navajo land in the early 1920s promoted the need for a more systemic form of government. In 1923, a tribal government was established to help to meet the increasing desires of American oil companies to lease Navajo land for exploration. Navajo government has evolved into the largest, most sophisticated form of American Indian government. The Navajo Nation Council Chambers hosts 88 council delegates representing 110 Navajo Nation chapters. See the Navajo Nation government in the There's that. You got the Navajo code talkers. We already read about that. The flag. You got the Navajo flag, which was created in 1968. And the tan background outline the nation is shown in copper color, with the original 1868 treaty reservation in dark brown. At the cardinal points in the tan field, 4 sacred mountains, a rainbow symbolizing Navajo sovereignty, arches over the nation, and the sacred mountain in the center of the nation. A circular symbol depicts the sun above 2 green stalks of corn, which surround 3 animals representing the Navajo livestock economy in a traditional Hogan and modern home. Okay, you got the window, you got the tribal park, and you have a veterans memorial. You got the museum, which is in Arizona. So facts, you got questions. How can I become an enrolled member of the Navajo Nation? How can I find my Navajo roots? A person must be at least 1/4 Navajo to be enrolled as a member of the Navajo Nation. To determine if they're eligible for tribal membership, contact the Navajo tribe. Okay, you gotta be 1/4 Navajo. So you have to have a grandparent that's Navajo to enroll in the Navajo Nation. Events. Okay, cool. So Navajo still do blood quantum. Is that all we have? We got Family Search, Navajo Nation. I'm not about to read. It's basically a wiki. It's like a encyclopedia of the Navajo. The history of the Navajo, the Mexican era. They were in the Mexican War, 1846 Treaty, 1848 Treaty of Guadalupe. They are part of the Navajo Wars Treaty. Okay, Reservation era, 1868 Treaty. Navajo Reservation to expand into Arizona. Navajo Reservation expanded again in Arizona. Okay, so their Navajo Reservation gets expanded. The passage of Indian Citizen Act, stock reduction, coming out, World War II, Navajo Code Talkers, the Navajo clan system. Clans, okay, their maternal line being the predominant line, so and the Navajo will provide their parents' clan, typically their maternal grandfather will provide their parents' clan and typically their maternal grandfather and paternal grandfather's clan. So that in the place in the world. Okay. Navajo were matrilineal. Government records, agencies, reservation, the BIA, census records, enrollment, Indian census rolls. They have Navajo Indian census rolls. You got the Eastern Agency area records, Hopi and Navajo. All right, you got agency records, more of that, census population. You got the Eastern Navajo Reservation. Arizona, different parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Southern Navajo Reservation, the Western Navajo Reservation, other records, education, Albuquerque Indian School, Carlisle Indian School, Charles Burke School, Chilico Indian Agriculture School, Oklahoma. Okay. The Phoenix Indian School, military records, newspapers in Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah. They're polytheistic people. That's their religion. Some of them are Catholic now because of Spanish influence. All right. That's it for the Navajo. Compares to who? I don't know. I guess I think it's meaning grandparent. The grandparent has to be Navajo. You know? I don't know. All right. What's the next thread? Pueblo. The Pueblo. All right. Let's talk about these Pueblos. Of Okoma Haku. Administration. I ain't going to go too deep. The tribal government, administration, tribal court. Okay, they have a casino, Department of Education, Department of Health Services, Department of Housing Authority. Okay, support services, Operation Utility Authority. The tribal government. They got offices, Gaming Commission, Tribal Council, Tribal Court, voting. Their different departments, community resources, and local economy. Now, you got this, the Pueblo leadership, administration, their administration, the offices in New Mexico, community events, links, mission, vision, state, our culture, language, and tradition come from our ancestors' vision of sovereignty, self-sustaining future, fully embracing the Cochiti way of life. Mission statement, the guy, okay, their mission statement, education, just goes into their admission. Okay, they have a library, tribal library, higher education program, adult education program, Johnson O'Malley program, the Cochiti Summer Youth Language Program. Okay, so they have a language program. Language Nest Child Care Center, education program, family services, department overview. Okay. You got the health department, the upcoming events, DNRC, implement management practices, foster. Okay, agriculture. collaborations, state collaboration, Department of Energy, the BIA, the Bureau of Reclamation, Trees and Water. Okay, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, careers. These are the careers. Tribal Administrator, Tribal Planner, Elder, Program Director. They got the application here. Visiting. No picture taken, no audio recorded, no video recorded. Applause after dances is not appropriate. Although most are open to the public during daylight, most homes are private like any other village. Okay, cool. Tribal values, customs, and religion. Please keep in mind that our religious ceremonies do not public performances. Okay. Charge an entry fee. Require permit for photograph, sketch, and paint on location at all times. Okay. The carrying or use of alcohol is strictly prohibited. Silence is mandatory during dances, okay, and ceremonies. All right. Many of the structures are 100 years old. Nature is sacred to the Pueblo. Littering is strictly prohibited. On feast days, other public observations enter home you with any by invitation only. Please obey all traffic and speed limits. Children, okay. Observe all significance indicating off limits. If organized tours are offered, please remember to stay with your tribal guide at all times. Refrain from bringing a cell phone onto the Pueblos. Do not remove artifacts, pottery sheds, or other items from the Pueblo. Tribal communities do not use a clock to determine our scheduled activities. Start and finish the ceremonies are determined by nature. Okay, so they don't use clocks. Oh, Chitty Golf Club. All right. Any more? Okay, the Hopi Band, the Hopi Tribe. You got the Hopi government. So the Pueblos are the Hopi. Quick links. So the Hopi, located in northeastern Arizona, Navajo counties. They have 1.5 million acres in 12 villages. Wow. Ancient caretaker to the earth to live a peaceful, humble farmers, respectful of the land and its resources. Hopi, the tribal government. Boom, their tribal services. And branch, executive branch, health services. Information about that. The judicial branch. Tribal courts, hobby code. They have news. Clean power. Oh, man. Hobby credit. Okay, they got a credit association. You can contact them here. This, and that. All right. Anything interesting? Nope, just different tribal sites. All right. National Archives. We got archives about the Pueblo. All right. All right, cool. I'm kind of bored reading through this. We got Dakota and Lakota. It's a lot of sources. I got a lot of sources on the Dakota and Lakota. Second one, got Wikipedia. I'm about to get to the Eastern Woodlands. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to get to the Eastern Woodland tribes right now. Our people. About to get our people, man. Why did I start off with some of these tribes? Powhatan. Boom. We got the Powhatan. Boom. Some history of the Powhatan tribe. For those who don't know, this is one of the tribes in my lineage. We got over almost 500 people in here. Oh, this is a whole book. Smithsonian Collection of the Powhatan. Indian sites below falls of the Rappahannock, Virginia. All right, so we got a nice book that the Smithsonian has, right? And I got the PDF for it. What's up, Nick? That's Nick. Chickahominy in the house. So we got a book here. OCO, Gemini Moon. Boom. Share this tab instead. We got the encyclopedia. In Virginia Indians, indigenous people have lived in the areas known as Virginia for thousands of years. The histories of ancestral connections and traditions are intertwined. With 6,000 square miles of tidewater land, the Algonquin-speaking natives called Tsinacomica. The early inhabitants of present Virginia were hunter-gatherers who followed the migratory patterns of animals over time. As the region warmed, they settled into towns along the riverbank and outlined their homelands, developing an intimate, balanced relationship with the animals, plants, and geographic formations. They hunted fish in farms and developed complex social religious systems and vast trade networks. By the early 1600s, the people indigenous to Virginia lived in 3 broad local groups based on the languages families found in the area: Algonquin, Iroquois, and Siouan. Scholars know most about the Algonquin-speaking natives of Tsinacomica, who eventually grouped into the paramount chiefdom led by Powhatan. The polity ultimately included 28 to 32 small chiefdoms and tribes, stretching from the James to the Potomac rivers and the encompassing of the much of Virginia's coastal plains. In 1607, Englishmen arrived and affected native life forever. The midst of this severe drought, the colonists' demands for foods and their inability to fully understand the indigenous culture and practices led to 3 protracted and violent conflicts over 4 decades, ending in 1646, with the Algonquin-speaking natives largely subject to English rule. The General Assembly set aside the lands for the tribes of Tsinacomica. Although subsequent years, some indigenous people were forced to move and some tribes became dispersed. In the years that followed, they contributed to the development of American culture, while workers remained their traditions during difficult periods of disease, hunger, forced recollections, and restricted colonial and later statewide policies that curtailed their rights to travel through the lands now occupied by white settlers, to visit their traditional hunting and fishing grounds, and to testify in the court on their own behalf. At the beginning of the 20th century, a cultural renaissance bloomed, and some scholars began to study Native history more closely. And at the same time, the General Assembly did not much deny indigenous identity, including passing in 1924 to the Act to Reserve Racial Integrity, which criminalized interracial marriage and separated Virginians into 2 simple racial categories, white and colored. These wrongs were addressed in part of the Supreme Court's decision in Loving v. Virginia in 1967, and by the state legislation in the late 1980s that allowed Virginia Indians to change the racial designation on their birth certificate without cost. Indigenous Virginians in the 21st century actively cultivate their own culture while educating others about their history. The Tsinacomica homeland. What's up? Blacks on View. All right, let's see. Tribes, Native Voices, AD 1622. Powhatan chieftain resists English settlement in Virginia. At the death of Chief Powhatan in 1618, his brother takes his place as the leader of the Powhatan chieftain under the leadership of Obakano, the head of the Pamunkey. Powhatan kills 347 Martin English. So you had to fight. 1630. Puritans move further onto Wampanoag land. Oh, that's the timeline of the Americas. All right, so that's it for the Powhatan. That's it. That's all I have for that. Powhatan. Now onto the Chickahominy. You got the Chickahominy tribe, Indian tribe. People of the coarse pounded corn. So basically, a rich history, ancient ways, our departments, cultural resources, family services, health and wealth services, housing services, natural resources, view all events, support the tribe. So tribal history, ancient ways. A rolling mist still clings the face of the Chickahominy rivers as the first ray of sun paint the morning sky red. Already the village is awake. The people are making preparations for a new day. There is no school here, but everyone in the village helps educate each child. By the time they are adults, they will learn many traditional skills. As young adults, they will also learn their place in the cycle of village life. Some will learn the medicinal ways of every herb in the forest. Others will learn to speak with great eloquence. Others will learn the signs of the seasons for planting and harvest, regardless of their gifts. I say grits. Children learn that they are unique and treasured by the village. There is no church here, but all our daily life is infused with spirituality and worship. Every meal, every healing herb, every new sunrise, all of life is received and reverenced as a new gift from a home, the Creator. Post-contact era, the Chickahominy originally lived in permanent villages along the Virginia River that still bears our name. The Treaty of 1646 displays the Chickahominy from the area and set aside the land in the Pamunkey Neck of the area of Virginia as settlers prospered. They crowded the Chickahominy tribe out of this area. The Chickahominy families began gradual migration to the area called the Chickahominy Ridge, where they now reside. This area between Richmond and Williamsburg is only a few miles from one of our 1607 village sites. In 1901, the Chickahominy established the Samaria Indian Baptist Church, which serves as an important focal point for our community to this day. We are Algonquin people, one of the largest cultural linguistics in North America. Algonquin lands once stretched from all the way from the southeastern coastal plain to the Arctic Circle. Like the other Algonquins in this area, the Chickahominy are often called Powhatan Indians. However, our villages were always independent, never under control of Chief Powhatan, unknown to his people, Wuhan Seneca. Although throughout the post-contact area, Chickahominy have maintained their independence while remaining close to the native people in this area. What's up, Rio? Hi. All right, 20th century history. In 2060 has a great change for the Chickahominy people under the Racial Integrity Act. Virginia policies of segregation were amongst the most severe in the nation. Officials went so far as to destroy documents and records of Native people, including birth, marriage, census, and death records. According to the state policy, Virginia natives people no longer existed. Higher education was not available for Indians until the 1960s, in Virginia until the 1960s. So our tribal members built schools and raised funds to pay teacher salaries. Even so, our children were barred by state from receiving diploma in Virginia. Many of our children went to Oklahoma to complete high school and attend college. In the time, the Chickahominy were sought to repeal the Racial Integrity Act in disgrace of those who championed it. The tribe was granted official recognition by the Commonwealth of Virginia in 1983 and received federal recognition by the government in 2018. Today, the tribal members contribute to the surrounding communities by serving on boards and commissions in local government agency. In addition, Chickahominy contributes to the local economies through private business ownership. They have the Chief William Henry Atkins right here. So tribal history, our visions for the future. I ain't gonna read all that, but the visions for the culture and community. Tribe, boom. This is the chief, Stephen Atkins, Wayne Atkins, the first assistant chief. Second assistant, Reggie Stewart. Okay, this tribal council, Stephen Atkins, Wayne Atkins, Reggie Stewart, Vanessa Atkins. Rhonda Kennedy, Adam E. Preston Atkins, Troy Atkins, Heath Atkins, Stewart, Donovan Wynn. Donovan Elwin. Yeah. They have an artisan market. Chickahominy art. Providence, Forest, Virginia. This is where the reservation is. Oh boy. Oh gosh. There's a lot of people. Loving. Oh, Wilma Loving. Okay, so Mildred Loving children and descendants must be in the Chickahominy tribe then, huh? Alrighty. Yeah, history. Probably about to shut this down soon. I'll pick this back up at another time. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But we got that Chickahominy Indians. But yeah, it's been fun, y'all. Got over 500 people in here. Been on here for 90 minutes. Till next time, y'all. Peace.